Hey everyone, and welcome back again to another diverse brew. This is me, your host Abdulrahman, and today I'm gonna talk about straight into it. I'm gonna talk about something that I've been dealing with for the past 8 years because of my line of business, which is communication, my friend. And I'm not talking about just day-to-day communication with your spouse, with your friends, and stuff. This time I'm gonna take it into a business way, and I'm not professional in this. I'm not the one who tells you how to talk and how to speak to people, but me doing this job for more than 8 years, somehow I have an idea about what to avoid and what to start with. So, before I dive into it, I'm gonna make tea for Mr. Bahtiyar and I'm gonna make coffee for myself. And you, my friend, grab a coffee, let's get comfortable, and let's get into it. We're pushing it today. Today, we're drinking Colombia. El Placer. Or I am drinking. He's drinking tea. Shake, senora. Shake your body like. Shake, senora. Working all the time. What do you do when you have a problem? You press it like air press. And here you go. You're welcome. Shake, senora. Shake it all the time. Tasty. Cheers. So, let me start with a recent experience that I've had a couple days ago. I've got a random call from one person who, mistake number one, failed to tell me their name, failed to tell me where they're calling me from, failed to tell me why they're calling me. The guy, right away, he was like, hello, can I speak to someone in charge? And I'm like, why would you assume that I'm not in charge? Here's the thing, I own the company. So I didn't tell him that. I was like, let me see what's next. I told him, who am I talking to? And why are you calling me? Who do you need? What's the reason of this phone call? Right away, he was like, I was checking your website and I was checking your social media, and that's how I figured on my own that it is an advertising agency or social media or whatever agency. He was like, I noticed that it is poor and it's not up to date and it's not, and the guy started stating out the bad things first. You lost me, my friend. First of all, you were dismissive. It was kind of impersonal. I mean, why would you assume I'm not in charge? I own the fucking company. That's number one. Number two, you don't start with bad things first of all, because I don't know you. We don't have this close relationship where I would understand that you want the best for me and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Right away, starting with the negative things puts a negative first impression. So I am not the professional person who tells you, as I said earlier, how to do your job, but I'm a client for him and he needs my satisfaction. And how do you gain someone's satisfaction? Somehow you make it in a smooth way. So the guy started with a negative first step. I didn't like that. And then I had to stop him halfway. I told him, first of all, I own the company and you're speaking to the owner of the company. Second of all, you failed to introduce yourself. What is your name? Where are you calling from? What's going on? You see? And even with that, the guy didn't even tell me his name. So what I did, just to get rid of a knucklehead like that, I told him, here's the thing, email it to me. And he was like, can I get your email? And my negative response to a negative call was, well, if you could find our website and our social media, then do your job properly and find my email and email it to me. I was disrespectful to a disrespectful person. And made me think, how many business lose potential clients just because of a bad first impression? I cannot even imagine. If the guy owns that advertising agency, I cannot see a future to that agency. And even worse, if the guy just works in there, then who the fuck hired him? Don't you do a background check? Don't you do an interview? Don't you do a lot of tests? Don't you ask for certificate, experience, or whatsoever? Because I've been doing this for many years, and in this line of business, people most of the time don't remember what you say, but they remember how you say it to them. They remember your attitude. They remember the feeling, because it's not the words that, I mean, here's the thing. On a side note, I sometimes prepare for the podcast and write some keynotes, write some things to talk about. I cannot write a script, even though it is my own words, because I don't remember the words. I just remember the story. I remember the main highlight. And this is the same for people. They don't remember every single detail you tell them. They just remember the relationship, the way you put it. And why this is important for me, or why do I focus on it? Because this is the main job, the main thing I do in my line of business. And even before that, when I was working in a construction company, I was the sales manager. So the main thing we do is we call people or we answer phone calls. 80% of my job is me talking on the phone. Or when I'm not talking on the phone, I'm meeting the client face to face. So it is constant conversation, constant back and forth, talking in words with the clients. So things like this are very important for me and for the job itself. So doing it in a third language, Turkish is not my mother language and I'm not so fluent, far from being fluent, but my Turkish is good enough to keep a conversation going or deliver the information that I have to deliver. This is something I've been struggling with over the years, because the way I do my job is I share a campaign, I get leads, and then I call the leads. I make sure they listen to everything I say. I call them, I tell them, hey, this is Abdulrahman, I'm calling you from company number 1. I am calling you because you sent us a request for property, whatever, the location, the date. I give them information so they know who is talking to them, who's calling them. Because for all they know, I'm a stranger. My number is not saved. Who am I? Especially when I'm selling them something over the phone. We haven't met. So I need to build a lot of trust for them to accept coming forward and meeting us in the office or in the company or the site or whatever we're supposed to meet. So one of the issues that I face most of the time, which I understand, but still, after me introducing myself, after me introducing the company and why I'm calling and blah, 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 I get asked most of the time, where are you from? Suddenly, I'm explaining something and now we took a detour to where I am from and my background and stuff. And look, I understand. Curiosity is natural and they need to have full details about me first, because selling them something which is not cheap needs a lot of trust and needs a lot of understanding from my side first. So I'm not gonna get frustrated every time, even though it's happening a lot and sometimes it gets on my nerves, but I need to understand the other person's perspective. So I put myself in their place. Just like how I got an annoying call from an advertising agency and I didn't like it, and there is no way in hell I would accept any of their services just because the way the guy was talking. I'm like, let me put it in a very nice way. Let me answer all of their questions. Let me give them all the details that they need to know before we even take any further steps. So yeah, I understand, and I somehow over the years I learned how to give a quick answer, throw some joke in here, some joke in there, flip the conversation, redirect it to what we were talking about, which is business. Boom, now we're back on track. Easier said than done. You just have to have patience, you have to have time, experience, because some people, they will just get hung up on it. Anyway, and here's something that happened the other day, and it was kind of a surprise for me, and it made me feel really good. I was talking to the landlord where I have my company set in, and he told me that even though my Turkish is not that good, and I know that, but I communicate in a more respectful way with him than his other native Turkish tenants, and made me realize that the way you speak is far more important than fluency. I mean, if you are respectful enough and if you are clear enough, trust me, the other person It's not there to judge your grammar mistakes. It's not there to judge your pronunciation of certain words, or if you cannot find a word, so you have to speak one more minute to find an alternative or to deliver idea. As long as you're clear, as long as you are respectful, that's what people need to hear. That's what people need from you, especially if you are talking business. Because personally, I have this. In this line of business, which my main line of business, it is real estate. I try my best to be as clear as possible. And sometimes people tell me like, you don't have to do this. You're losing clients. Nope. As a matter of fact, I might be losing sales, but I'm gaining clients, because if we are somewhere showing them a house, a villa, or whatever property it is, I put myself in their shoe and I tell them the pros and the cons of this property or this area or whatever. I deliver what they need to know. I'm not the most moral person on earth, because I believe the relationship with the client is far more important than the sale. Because, I said because too many times, it's more like a chain. Have a good relationship with one client, you can have a relationship with another one. A client brings you more clients, and a business brings you more business. How do you get that? Through a clear, respectful conversation. I mean, communication is a game changer, whether it is handling business, whether it is making first impression, whether it is, I don't know, handling language barrier or day-to-day conversation. That's communication. It is something you can get better at. You can practice. It's not like, I was born with it or not born with it. And here's the thing, I'm not a coach when it comes to this. I am just a person who learned it the hard way. I lost too many people to understand, you know what, maybe I have a communication issue. So I had to get more aware of it. I had to talk more to people. I mean, I somehow consider myself as an introvert. I have like 3 friends. Bakhtiar is one of them. I don't go out all the time, or when I go out, it is with my son. And what communications am I having with my 1.5-year-old? He's not even 1.5, he's 15 months old. So yeah, still, it is something that you can always practice, you can always talk. I mean, here's the thing. If you're shy, for God's sake, you can open ChatGPT and you can talk to ChatGPT. You can practice with ChatGPT. If you don't want to practice with a real human being in front of you, you feel like, it is too much for me to handle. So guys, if you had any experience where communication or miscommunication made a big difference for you, please share it with us in the comment section or send it to us as a direct message. And subscribe, like, share. That would be really, really nice and great for the channel. And if you have some time, hit us on our Instagram, which is @Brew. And this is it for today. Enough Andrew Tate of me for this episode and teaching you how to do your job. You have to man up. So I'm just joking. So enough of me babbling for today, and see you next Sunday.